This episode is brought to you by patrons like Flavio. You can help support the channel by becoming a patron at patreon.com/DiceCheckYT to get more behind the scenes content, exclusive patron only battle reports, and vote on armies for upcoming games. That's patreon.com/DiceCheckYT or click on the link in the description. We also just reached our first goal on the website and are extremely thankful for all of your support while we keep making content for you guys to enjoy. Thank you guys so much, and let's get on with the video. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the DiceCheck podcast. Today, I am your host, Magikarp Usefly, also known as Matt, and with me today, we have the very, very furry John P.
Hey, what's up?
That's the best intro you can do. Okay, fine. All right, moving on. And along with John P., the furriest man, we have the hairiest man, Dameki.
Hey, y'all want to see my sweater vest?
Jesus. Come on, guys. Come on. Professional here.
Yeah, I am
I was
professional. I was just
super
asking you want to see my sweater vest.
What's up, y'all?
How y'all doing?
So, if you guys haven't listened to the DiceCheck podcast, we are centered around helping out new players get into 40K, help them learn how to play 40K, and also go over tactics and strategies for both new and veteran players alike. And today we are talking about something that is a topic that a lot of people have arguments about, a lot of people complain about, or that they don't complain about, and just a bunch of conversation about this topic. Terrible segue. Dealing with Codex creep and how you can use your army that doesn't have a new 9th edition Codex and work with other armies that do have a 9th edition Codex. That is the topic for today. It's going to be very interesting. Are you guys excited for the topic?
Oh, I'm definitely excited. I like this topic.
Yeah, it's a very interesting topic, especially right now.
Yeah.
So much happening right now. Just rules changing, new stuff coming out, new codexes coming out, meta shifting forever and ever and ever.
Yeah,
But
yeah. It's like by the time that you're done painting up one unit, the meta has shifted yet again, and you're just like, no.
God, wait, we don't use this anymore?
Oh man, what do you mean this costs 300 points now? I wanted to run this in my crusade. What the heck? Oh wait, well crusade does power level. They increased the power level for no reason.
I mean, the Codex is literally just added to the backlog of my armies. Like, it's ridiculous.
Yeah,
right
you
now.
have like 3 codexes that are 9th and 10th. Yeah, screw you, dude.
Yeah, all besides your main, which is Tau, right?
Yeah. All besides my main, which is Tau. And
Man.
they've been shelved. But I mean, I've been playing them a lot more lately.
Yeah.
I'm finding some new things out about them. We'll talk about that though later.
Yeah. Speaking of the meta constantly changing, before we hit this main topic, we got some news to cover real quick.
Heck yeah, we do.
New GT rules and chapter approved coming out, pre-ordering this weekend. That's going to be insane.
Let's go.
Yeah.
I kind of called it.
Yeah.
I said they'd be coming soon. Everybody was like, nah, no, I think it's too early.
Dude, I doubted it. I so doubted that it was going to come out like anytime that it usually does come out just because of everything that's been happening.
Yeah.
But there's some cool stuff in here, and I'm just going to go over them a little bit. Obviously, chapter approved, that's going to be the new point changes. I do not expect Drakari to get hit very hard at all because this is like the chapter approves are usually made like months beforehand, right? So I doubt that Drakari being a new army is going to have updated points.
I wonder what they would even do to, update what, just the gun, the liquefier gun? Because that's
Maybe.
like probably one of the main problems with the army and Dark Technomancers.
But chapter approved, that's all speculation. GT rules, Warhammer community did drop some rules about this, some new changes that they're doing that I think are they're a little bit interesting. They're changing up investigate sites. I think that they're just literally renaming the name from investigate sites to like investigate signals or something.
Yeah.
But now that's something where on your first turn you can still score it without your opponent stopping you immediately. So that's good. That's a good change. I think that's healthy. I think that there's stuff in shadow operations that really needs to be changed, and especially Warpcraft. I think Warpcraft needs to be changed or just nixed entirely because those secondaries are terrible.
Yeah.
So there's that. Deploy Scramblers is getting a change. Apparently now you can gain more points by going to different quadrants. That's cool. I like that.
Yeah, it's no longer all or nothing.
Yeah. The more that they get rid of the all or nothing points, I think the better. Just because, like, even while we stand, we fight. It's not all or nothing. You can still get like 5 points if you protect your army enough, right?
Yeah,
you know, you still get some points.
I think what I liked about that though was that it added more strategic influence to the game, right? Where this still does, but like I felt like when there's more on the line, it would make you either think quicker or be more in depth.
Yeah.
With your logic.
Yeah. Deploy Scrambler is good. Now, the one that I find a little bit weird is the change to Thin Their Ranks. So they're completely changing Thin Their Ranks. They've renamed it to No Prisoners. Right now, within their ranks, you get points for killing vehicles. You would get 1 point if the vehicle is 12 wounds or 10 wounds or more or something like that. Same thing with monsters. But now they've completely gotten rid of that. And along with getting rid of monsters and vehicles not giving you points within their ranks, Marines and anything with multiple wounds counts towards in their ranks as well, where instead of getting 1 point off of one MEQ, you actually get 2 points off of an MEQ, which is kind of okay. This looks like more of a buff towards Horde armies than anything, in my opinion, just because when you take no prisoners against anything that's a Marine army or an elite army that has multiple wounds, they don't take that much infantry anyways because they're pretty expensive in the first place. Like on average, against an average Marine army, you're probably going to get maybe 6 or 7, maybe 8 points at max off of this because it doesn't count characters either.
Yeah. Sorry, just want to go back. Can you explain what an MEQ is for the uninitiated?
Oh, yes. MEQs are Marine equivalents. So anything that has the same stat line as a Marine is called, you abbreviate it down to MEQ. Yeah.
So an MEQ would be like something that's 4 toughness, 2 wounds, etc.
Yeah, anything with 2 wounds, anything, even like your Death Shroud Terminators, if you're Death Guard. What are they, 3 wounds?
3 wounds, just like a Terminator.
Yeah. Like how much infantry do you usually bring? Like what's the average wound count on
for Death Guard?
Yeah.
You may bring, so it all depends on your build too, because like with the new Charodon that I have like right here in front of me, there's even a newer build for that where it's all like infantry based, no vehicles and whatnot. But most of the time, if you're bringing Morty and a bunch of vehicles, like you might bring like maybe a couple of Poxwalkers, a Marine, maybe one Plague Marine unit.
Are you going to bring 150 wounds worth of points?
No, definitely not. Probably 15 Death Shroud Terminators.
Yeah, so we're looking at maybe around 80 wounds that you're going to get off of it. So it's still not going to be good against that type of army. Then their ranks was a secondary that people usually don't take anyways. But it's definitely a buff towards hordes that where you could every once in a while take them their ranks against. So that one not too crazy about. But there's going to be new missions, so that's cool. Moving along, we also have Warhammer Plus, the subscription service that GW announced, coming out soonish. I don't know what the time frame of that is, but apparently supposed to have a bunch of different projects on it, like a bunch of different animated projects.
Yeah, there was about looked like about a dozen-ish from the quick graphic that I looked at, maybe. Yeah. Definitely some of the stuff they previewed already, like the one with the Tau. What was it called? The Exodite?
The Exodite.
Yeah, that one's going to be on there.
So good.
A bunch of other stuff. We haven't heard any news about the Netflix show. That was
I think that might be nixed at this point. I mean, with Warhammer Plus, that sounds like that might just be canned at this point, whatever they were doing with Netflix.
Yeah, well, that would be silly if they did that.
Yeah, that would be awful. They're losing out on a huge market.
That's what I was thinking too. But like when I saw Warhammer Plus preview, that's immediately what went to my head. And then I was like, if they canceled the whatever they were doing with Netflix, they're losing out on gaining so many new people, new players to the hobby.
It's a little bit silly. I saw that Stardust 2 is going to be on it.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for that. I'm still probably going to try it out and see what it's like for at least a month to see what's going on. They need to have a killer show like Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Like I need a Mandalorian-esque show in order for me to stay subscribed. You know what I mean? Last bit of news here. Rightful Ruler. If you guys don't know what Rightful Ruler is, they officially got backed up on Kickstarter. Rightful Ruler is a AR app for Warhammer 40K. The reason why this is so interesting to me is because this could potentially change the way that battle reports and live battle reports work because it's an AR program. You can put it on top down and show visually what units have certain buffs, what units are what unit, everything like that. Sounds so cool. They officially got backed, and that is very, very exciting.
Yeah, I think one of the cool things too is that they shows like measured distances. So like, oh, this is like 24 inches away. That means you can shoot his melter at it. You know,
it'll definitely add a sportcaster feel to the game, right?
Yeah,
especially like when we do our next tournament arc.
Yeah,
like the guys in the back, whoever's doing that, if we can have that AR program by then, it would add so much more value to our battle reports.
Like it makes live streams for battle reports way more appealing towards people, especially towards the new audience. So that's why I like it a lot, and I'm very excited for it. Hopefully it launches really well. But yeah, if you guys want to go check that out, you can go over to Rightful Ruler. If you just Google Rightful Ruler Kickstarter, you'll find it. It's from Minotaur Games or something like that. It's pretty cool. So yeah. But that's enough of me rambling. I think that Demeki has some information that I don't know about.
Yeah. So I'm the Did You Know today.
Did you know?
Did you know?
Did you know?
So did you know? Tau met Kroot during their first expansion. The Dalith Sept found them in combat against Orc warships, and at first they just observed the battle. They were just like, "Yo, we're here to just observe. We're not going to partake." And then the battle aircast and the firecast commanders, they couldn't bear watching these orcs just beat the crap out of the Kroot, so they decided to jump in and help them for the greater good. Tau quickly destroyed the orcs with their advanced weaponry, but found that the force was just a vanguard of a large invasion force. So, like, after they beat them orcs, more orcs showed up, and they were like,
as per usual, as they should,
as expected.
So this led to the war in the place of Union, where Tau and Kroot joined forces and went from planet to planet, just where the Kroot were, annihilating orcs. They were just like, we're going to get rid of all these orcs. And then when they reached the Kroot homeworld of Peck, the legendary leader for the Kroot at Angkor Proc pledged the Kroot to the greater good as long as they continued to receive payment from the Tau. But of course.
Oh, so they're just like assassins.
Yeah, they're mercenaries.
Well, so they're taking currency.
Yeah,
okay.
Essentially.
What currency?
Yeah, what's the currency called? Did you know?
Did you know?
Nope.
That's how currency.
But I'm pretty sure it's probably like weaponry.
It's probably Hong Kong dollar.
Yeah,
maybe
yuan.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it would be.
The Korean won.
Yeah, dude, that's cool. It's like what's it called? Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
You know where the faceless.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
Just going around.
Yeah.
You know, just doing what they want to do.
Well, I think the other thing that was interesting on top of that was the fact that I didn't know how the Kroot operated when I found this out. So like I didn't realize that Kroot eat other beings and gain like certain attributes from those beings.
Yeah.
So that made it even more interesting to find that out. That's why like all the Kroot are so different. Like none of them are the same.
What if they eat something that like a power that they don't want? Like, oh yeah, oh crap.
So sometimes they don't get anything.
Oh, okay.
So in the article that I read too is that they're worried that if they eat the Nids, like the Nids do the same thing. So like it would just increase their hunger, and then they would become similar to the Nids.
Oh, and they would just be forever hungry.
Yeah.
So they just go around boring people.
Yeah.
All the time. Just just swallowing people whole, eating the biomass. Okay. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
It always surprises me that Kroot are part of the 40K universe.
Yeah.
They seem so out of place for Tau.
You know, and y'all will see it in the next battle report, but like after using them, they're actually kind of fun. They added different
Flavor
and style to the army.
Yeah, I can see that.
So they're interesting. That's why I was like, let me dig a little bit more into Kroot.
Yeah, and that was your first time using it, right?
Yeah, that was my first time.
Yeah, you know, it'd be great for when you're playing something for the first time if you had a way to look up your strategies and your stratagems more easily. Isn't that right, John P?
Yeah, definitely. So I found something that helps you create something a lot more visual for yourself. If you're having a hard time remembering your stratagems and stuff, it's actually a site based around creating and sharing custom magic cards, but you don't have to put magic all over it. You could use those to remember your Warhammer stratagems. So I have some here. Raph, would you like to pull them up? Yeah, so I created one here for Savage Strike, Space Wolf stratagem. It pretty much has very nice artwork. You can put the stratagem title on it. You can put how much it costs CP-wise. You can put the stratagem description, some fluffy text beneath it, a nice graphic, which army it's used for. It's a great way to like make the stratagems feel like your own and like customize. It's another project you can take on too if you're feeling like you're missing out on something hobby wise. You could print these out, maybe cut them out, glue them onto some cardstock, or maybe you have some old Magic cards that you just don't care about anymore. Maybe some lands you have like
Hundreds
hundreds
of
and
lands.
millions of lands. Yeah, yeah. So. Did you show all of them already? Oh, you got Tau. I made one for each of us. Tau, Black
nice.
Templars. We've got Astra
Imp-Guard.
Militarum. Yep,
Yeah.
Imp-Guard. And Tyranids.
Not gonna lie, when you posted these last night, I thought this was legit for the Magic Commander set. I was like, "Oh, Nikes, what is this?" and then I looked and I was like, "Wait, why are they all colorless?"
Wait, this is OP. Wait a minute, hold on. All these commander decks are too good. Oh man, Tyranids are gonna be red. What the heck? Oh gosh.
Imagine, yeah. I tried to make it so that it matched, or like I guess like the colors matched like the army style.
Yeah.
But it didn't look very nice like aesthetically. I was gonna make Space Wolves like green and red because big animals and aggressive, but it looked kind of weird with the blue Space Wolves. So I just want to blue and black.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
it's
that
a
makes
nice
sense.
way to remember stuff, right?
Yeah, it's especially like if you're a visual like learner,
Yeah.
you see the graphic, you're like, oh yeah, Savage Strike, that's the one I need. You bust it out, you're like, oh yeah, this is the +1 to wound. It really helps you just remember things.
This is genius. I might actually use this because like when I was playing Magic, like you see the card so many times, you see the picture, like you just know, like
Yeah.
oh, that's that card. I know what it does.
Yeah.
So that's a pretty good idea.
Yeah, especially if you're in a pinch and you're not sure what you exactly need, and you're like, oh, +1 to wound, that'd be great, Yeah.
What is that picture? What is the picture? What is it?
Ah, Angry Space Wolf. Shoot.
That's the
Why-
one.
Why are they all Angry Space Wolves?
So, talking about stratagems, I don't have a segue. I'm just gonna
Segue
make,
alert.
I'm
Bad
segue
segue alert.
Yeah, I'm just,
Right off the cliff.
Yeah. Now, we're done with all the kicker stuff. It's time to go into the main topic here, talking about this codex. I got a little bit of a little paragraph that I wrote down for you guys to
Do we
get
need
you
to
guys
close
ready.
our eyes again?
Yes, close
Yeah,
your eyes.
okay. Let's do it.
Chat, even anybody listening to this, just close your eyes, and I will spin you a tale.
If you're driving, don't do that.
Yeah, if
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
driving,
yeah.
please don't do that. Just keep your eyes open, but just imagine what I'm going to
Yes.
say. So, you've got your army, your ride or die, your favorite army in the entire game that you want to run over and over and over again, but they don't have a 9th edition codex. Wah, wah. You're stuck picking mission objectives, hoping for something good. Your weapon profiles aren't as good as newer armies, D3+3, and you feel like you're just at a loss when it comes to this new edition. So how the heck do you deal with this? What are the ways you can edge out some W's when going up against a newer codex, and is this codex creep just impossible to deal with?
I definitely feel this one. I know how this one feels. I know you do too.
Oh, I feel it. I feel it a lot.
Yeah.
Who wants to start off? Is this an open floor question anybody can answer? There are no wrong answers except when it's a wrong answer.
Let's start with John P because he got the Space Marine Codex first.
Yeah,
So
he
let's
was one of the first
let's talk
ones.
about a player that got their Codex first.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's weird because in 8th edition, I was like one of the last ones to get an update. And then in 9th edition, I was one of the first ones to get an update. And, at first I thought I had a pretty decent codex, going in, I thought we could hang, especially with the objective style of 9th edition. And I felt like the Space Wolves in general were a lot more durable, a lot more tougher than some people expected. But as more and more codexes came out, I realized that was not the case, especially when that Jakari one came out. I thought Space Wolves could hang with anyone, especially in melee combat. And with Jakari, that's definitely not the case.
Yeah.
All that fight lasts, all those auras, all those fight twice. It's nasty. But yeah, I mean, I guess it makes sense in a way because you wouldn't want the first thing to come out to just be OP for the rest of the edition because then
Yeah,
that'd
that
be bland.
feels-
Everyone would be tired of that, Like,
Yeah.
oh, Space Marines, again.
Yeah, can you imagine Space Marines just being just the strongest faction for an entire edition again?
Yeah.
Well, I think that's interesting too, how they made it. Yeah, I mean, like you've got the Space Marine Codex, and then you have each chapter coming out too, right? With their own special codex for their own specific units. And I think that's probably what's helping Space Marines still perform at the same level. But yeah, I can definitely see what you're saying.
Yeah, because like when your codex dropped, right, you had TWC or you had Thunderwolf Cav.
Yeah.
And they were baller when they came out. It was so good.
It also is one of those things where like on initial look, you think it looks super cool. Like it does everything you want it to be. And then like once people figure out how to play against them, and once things come out that, you know, is a direct counter on them, things like D3 plus 3 damage. You start to realize like, oh, it's not as good as we initially thought. So that's an example of like codex creep right there.
Yeah. How do you deal with it now?
Now you have to adapt to the meta. Just keep up with it. It's tough.
I feel you. We're in the same wavelength.
Yeah, it's hard to say. Obviously, you could just buy different models, buy new models to keep up, but then you start to buy models for the meta, which is not something you should be doing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess in the grand scheme of things, if you really want to stay on top of the meta, the best thing you could probably do is magnetize your models. That way you could swap those weapon profiles in and out. That way you don't have to buy so many models.
Yeah. How about I put in a separate question here. Do you guys think that codex creep is real? Like, what do you guys think about the whole codex creep mentality? Because I'll play devil's advocate on this, but yeah, you guys go for it. What do you guys think about codex creep?
For the 8th edition codex is definitely, I mean, like they're already in a bad spot, especially Tal. But as far as the creep goes, like I can see where. So I asked Bricky a similar question the other day. I said, how do Necrons feel? Do they feel like you've been hit with codex creep? And he said he didn't feel like they've been hit with codex creep. He feels that like they need some point adjustments. Fair. That sounds pretty fair.
Yeah.
Drukhari, everybody, because you know it's the newest codex. Everybody's like, and they're winning a lot.
Yeah.
I'm on the boat of like for Drukhari, like, well, is it the fact that the army is OP, or is it the fact that everybody has been playing the I need to kill Space Marines meta?
Yeah, like everyone's become complacent with how they're supposed to play, and now it's hard because they have to switch over.
Right. And I mean, it was the same thing with Death Guard too, right? Even though Death Guard is similar to Space Marines, they are different. Like you have, you know, the -1 to toughness, you have the -1 to damage and all that. They're a Space Marine equivalent, but they are still different. So like I'm wondering if it is codex creep or if it's just like people weren't ready for that coming back into the meta.
Something new coming in, and it completely shifts the meta. And like, I guess initially they're also gonna have a high win rate because only the people who like did the research or like the top players will play it. And once people see what they're doing, more people will start to play it, and they'll copy what they're doing. And then they're obviously not gonna be as good as like the pro player that has been playing for years. So once the less pro players start playing it, the win rate's gonna drop down just a little bit. Yeah.
Not only that a lot.
Yeah, not only that, but like people start to figure out what you can do to counter it essentially, and then and start to tech for it.
Yeah, exactly. This is and that's kind of the reason why I don't think that codex creep is as big of a deal as what people say it is. When you see numbers like Drukhari getting like 72%, obviously when you see that, anybody would be like, oh, that's not good. Oh no. Oh, my turret. like, you know, it definitely feels bad. But you have to also understand that when Drukhari dropped, and this isn't me saying that Drukhari is perfectly balanced, because I don't think that they are. They do need points adjustments. But I also feel bad for people who have played Drukhari for years and years now, and being called
terrible,
and now and they were terrible, and now people are calling them sweaters and stuff like that, and it feels bad because like
that's their
they
army.
like the army, right?
Think of someone like JT from Play on Tabletop or Scary,
yeah,
Drukhari fanboys, and
and then just completely kicking them in the dirt just because they're playing an army, right? That kind of feels bad, but. yeah, you see these win rates, but at the same time, not a lot of codexes are out yet, right?
Nope.
Not what we only have. I don't. How many codexes are out right now? Do you guys
Like-
know off the top of your head?
Are you counting
Around
supplements in there?
Yeah, I'm counting the supplements too
Yeah.
because the thing is
3
like
supplements. Your 3 armies. It's
yeah.
and then
It's less than 10.
yeah,
I believe.
definitely less than
Yeah,
10.
it's
yeah.
definitely
We
less
don't
than
need
10,
as
but-
many.
But
Yeah.
again,
So-
that comes back to the whole meta thing because
Yeah.
think about it. From October to now, we've had Space Marines,
Yeah.
Blood Angels, Dark Angels, Space Wolves.
Yeah,
That's
Necrons.
4. That's just 4 Marines right there.
Yeah, yeah, and everyone was teching for it. Everyone's used to teching for it. And so when Drakari comes in, you know, it's like this new dude. It's like everybody brought knives to a knife fight. And then this guy busts down the door. He's like, yo, I got guns. And just started mowing down people. And I was like, that's not fair. I didn't know you could bring guns. And now people are going to start bringing guns to a knife fight. So I think that's what the problem is. Now you can see that the win rate is declining just a little bit. But I think that there's more than just codex creep. That's the problem. I think things like mission secondaries are a big problem.
Definitely.
Because, you know, you look at Drakari, you look at any codex that has mission secondaries, and it does feel bad to not be able to have a 9th edition codex and not have access to that 3rd secondary that you would really want to have that's specific to your army, where it's like, oh, it's a moment. You
Yeah.
do what you're doing basically what Space Marines do, and you get points for it. You know?
I think TOs though have been doing a good job of like just saying flat out, like if you have an army secondary, you can't use it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like,
Well, no, they don't say that you can't use it.
some TOs have, from what
yeah.
I read, that you can't even
yeah.
use your army secondary. You have to go from chapter approved.
I
from
think
what
what's
I read.
more common is that you can't stack secondaries. Where you can't, if you're a Space Marine army, you can't take Osa Moment and then a Dark Angels secondary as well.
I see what you're
You
saying.
can't stack it like that.
It depends on like the tournament too. Because
Yeah.
I was in a TTS tournament on the Northern Front server, the Northern Front Spring Open, and that tournament was no codex secondaries, and there were definitely some interesting placings in that tournament. I think a Night Sky went undefeated, and then a bunch of other stuff that you wouldn't expect to see at a normal RTT or GT where you could take
Yeah.
codex secondaries. So I guess it just goes to show that secondaries do play a huge part.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely. And I like to think about the idea that a good player will defeat any other player that has a good army, right? But they're newer to it. Does that make sense? As long as you're a good player and you stick to your strategies, and this is like kind of how you deal with having an 8th edition codex and dealing with 9th edition armies, you know, you kind of just do your own thing. And as long as you know your army really well, you should be able to pull out wins against people that are playing an army that they don't know as well.
Yeah, and I was
you
just
know?
gonna say there's a lot of people nowadays, they build their army lists around scoring points on certain secondaries.
Yeah.
Like, you know, if you're playing Tyranids, you know, you're gonna deploy scramblers because you have the Lictor, the best thing to deploy scramblers in the entire
Yeah,
game. So
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, you definitely have that. And then if you're going up against a good player and they start screening you out, then, you know, a good player versus another good player, then at that point, it's just like, there can be a certain wall, right? Because there are armies where you can play to the best of your ability and you could be the best player of that army. But then there's a certain ceiling that you can hit where you just can't perform to other armies, you know? Like, you can be the best... I don't know, Tau player in the world, but you can't, you know, punch upwards to something like, I don't know, Drakari or Death Guard or anything like that. It's just a hard fought battle.
Yeah. I mean, like with all the changes that have come to, so Tau, for example, right? The 8th edition codex is I will say it's struggling. It's bad. There's several reasons why it's bad. Weapon profiles are bad. Because like everybody's got weapon profile updates. We got one, and like most of our stuff is 0, 1, or 2 AP, and like the only way to get an additional AP buff is either take customizable seps or take your warlord trait through Unity Devastation, but then you got to be 6 inches close to that warlord whenever they pick the model, because you're only or not model but unit through Unity Devastation. So like any army that you're going to run into that ignores -1, -2, you're kind of hosed.
Yeah, which there are a lot of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or they just have a 4-up invuln save and they don't care anyways. They're used to rolling 4, so they don't it doesn't matter.
Yeah, and it's a combination of like that and then the marker lights.
Yeah.
And it needs a rework. But I mean, I've been exploring. I mean, it hasn't stopped me from exploring other ways to try to win.
Yeah, there's different ways that you can run your army in order to pull out, wins against other armies that have this 9th edition codex. Now, you're a player that has a lot of armies that have 9th edition codexes. How does it feel going up against other armies that don't have one?
It kind of feels bad. It really does. It really does feel bad playing against other armies that don't have their 9th edition codex, except for Sisters.
Yeah. Sisters, there's like certain armies that do really well in 9th edition with an 8th edition codex.
Yeah.
One of them, Sisters.
Yeah.
Custodes.
Admech.
Tyranids. They all do well in 9th edition without having an 8th edition codex.
Yeah. Playing against Imgard feels bad for Imgard. Playing against Tau feels bad. Just because, like, especially when you're a player playing against one of your armies, and
it's just strictly like 9th edition against an 8th edition codex.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But like, if you're playing against like if you played one of my 9th edition armies against your NIDs, like it would probably feel even worse, right?
Yeah, because then you would know what problems they have and then you're just like, oh, I can exploit this.
So I mean, yeah, it does feel bad, but like, I mean, some armies are doing quite fine, like orcs are doing really well.
Orcs do fine.
Sisters, like I said before, I feel like the main 2 or 3 would be NIDS, Imperial Guard, and Tau in that order. Like NIDS not first, I'm saying like 3, 2, 1.
I wouldn't say those 3 in terms of who would need like a codex or anything like that. I would say it's probably Craft Worlds.
Oh yeah, I forget. Well, nobody's played against Craft Worlds.
It's like Craft Worlds, Knights, Imp-Guard maybe. Imp-Guard might have a place now with Drakari against something like Drakari, and with the changes to bring it down and changes to thin their ranks.
Gene Circle.
Yeah, Gene Circles, Gene Circles and Tau. I think those are the bottom ones that really need some loving and that can be very, very difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you want to add anything to that? I saw you writing stuff down.
Well, no, I'm writing stuff for future.
Oh, okay.
Because I thought, go ahead.
Oh, okay.
Well, it's because like I know on here like you said like, how do I make the army better? And like you said, building a list that's geared towards secondaries is the main way to make the army better.
Yeah.
Like taking Vespids, so you make sure you can get deploy scramblers, or to make sure that you can get engaged on all fronts. Taking anything that deploys forward, like your stealth suits and your ghost keels, because they can deploy forward and get you your engaged on all fronts. Little things like that definitely help a lot.
Yeah. You're gonna have to swallow a little bit of your pride.
Yep, and your riptides.
when it comes to if you are looking to deal with codex creep and you feel like that your codex isn't good enough to punch upwards to 9th edition codexes, you have to kind of swallow your pride and start looking at other ways to run your army. And I know that people love their Bane Blades, right? They love like certain models where they're just like, I want to bring this all the time.
3 mana cores.
Yeah, but if it's making you sad when you bring it, then try doing other things and try making like a list where you can like take it by a step, right? First find out what secondaries you want to run.
Yep.
That's the biggest baseline that you could possibly do. Find out the secondaries. Take 2. Most mission secondaries are good except for Raz. But yeah, just pick 2, pick 3 maybe, and just build a list around that, and then bring that to your next game and see how you perform that way, instead of just bringing what you think would perform well in theory, right? You have to have not only the secondaries in mind, but then the next step would be understanding what the meta is of what you're going to be facing against, right?
Yeah.
If you're playing Garage Hammer, bring whatever you want, right?
Yep.
But if you're going to go to an LGS and you're going to go to an RTT, you're going to go to a GT, you're going to go play with randoms, or you're going to go play in a league or something, you should look at what the overall meta is of your local area and try to not only build secondaries around your army that other people can't interact with, but also try to figure out what's the best way that you can tech into fighting against these armies. You know, if you see if you know that your LGS has a bunch of Drakari, start bringing flamers, right? Just stuff like that.
Yeah.
I mean,
go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead,
Oh,
Jumpy.
okay. It's also, I think you gotta learn to really like scratch for your points and just try to get points where you can. Especially like like Demeki mentioned, like he's taking things like Vespids and other things that he wouldn't have considered in the first place. Like for Space Marines, now a lot of people are taking Land Speeders. Space Wolves players have can take Cyber Wolves in order to score points on certain things. So you really have to look at your Codex as a whole and see what things can do certain things for you. You know, gotta have, you know, action monkeys, things to score you points here and there, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah. Like, you know, the Lictor, terrible.
Yeah.
It's a terrible unit.
By itself, yeah.
Yeah, I don't even know its stat profile because it's just like I don't care for it. Once it comes onto the board, if it dies, that's fine. It did its job.
Yep.
And that's all that you want from it in order to stay in the game, right? And that I think that's the biggest problem that people have is just letting go of certain models that you need to kind of understand that they don't fit as of right now and to just try out other models, you know? A Baneblade is cool, but there's also other stuff that are cool. Bulgrins are cool.
Yeah.
Ogrins are cool.
Ogrins are really cool.
Yeah. Obviously, mana cores, people love their mana cores. You know, there's a bunch of stuff that you can run that's different from the way that you usually play. And you might find a new play style that you actually enjoy playing as long as you just try out these different ways and these different, different secondaries that you can take and start building your list around those secondaries. It'll make you not only a better player, but it'll make your list way better.
Yeah. I mean, if you're finding yourself too in a constant situation where you're losing a lot, maybe it isn't your list. Maybe you're just playing killy. Some people still have that problem from 8th. I was still having that problem, not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I mean, every time I showed up, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna roll dice, I'm gonna kill some stuff. I mean, but sometimes you gotta take a step back, reflect on yourself, and look in, and then be like, oh, I've been playing the game like it's a kill game, and it's not. It's a game. It's a strategic game.
Yeah,
it's chess.
But if that still brings you joy, then then
do
still do it, right?
Take the killy secondaries.
Yeah, take killy secondaries. You got to grind them down. You got no prisoners now.
Yeah. No prisoners.
Yeah. I'm gonna take grind. Dude, the no prisoners change doesn't make sense to me because like why would you take that over grind them down, right?
Yeah.
It just doesn't make much sense.
Yeah.
Anyway, off topic. I'm sorry. So we all own on this table armies that have a below 50% win rate.
Yes.
Demeki,
Yeah.
you have Tau.
Yes.
John P, what do you have?
Space Wolves.
And I have Tyranids. How do you guys feel about that? Being now that John P, you're the newest addition to us.
Yeah.
You know, me and Demeki have been living in this area for a while, dude. Welcome to the province land.
Yeah. I was there from the get-go, and then I ascended to up the winning land above 50%, and then back down to reality.
Yeah.
I mean, it's cool because like obviously I'm a big fan of the underdog Space Wolves, but at the same time, like I would like to be average at least. That way I'm not. I don't feel like I have to claw Space Wolves. Claw up.
You're just coming up with these zingers left and right, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, low tier gang. Let's go.
Yeah, low tier gang. Let's go. Low tier gang.
Low tier gang. Low tier gang.
We show up and then we just slap you across the board.
Do you think that that's added more to your army? Like thinking about more like going back through the Codex and looking at things that you might not have used before?
Yeah, definitely. Like I mentioned before, land speeders, you bring them literally just to get engaged or maybe to stand on middle objective for one turn, score you domination points. Cyber Wolves, I probably would have never considered bringing a single Cyber Wolf other than for the engaged nowadays. Definitely.
You know what's great about having an 8th edition Codex and a 9th edition world?
What's that?
Is that you really get to know your army very, very well.
Very intimately.
Yeah, very intimately. You really start to dig into the bottom of the barrel to try and find any way that you can like deal with these other high-powered armies, right? Coming as like a NIDS player, I constantly have to fight upwards every single time. Even when I'm winning, I feel like I can lose at any second. And that's just how I feel all the time when playing NIDS, right? And you have to constantly just claw yourself upwards every single time, right? But then because of that, I know my army so well. Some rules I still get wrong.
Lictor?
But, yeah, Lictor. You know. But like
what's the toughness?
you reach 5. I don't know. But like you reach into the barrel to try and find these different ways that you can play your army. That's different from what other people would expect, right? You start bringing stuff like mortal wound spam that other people wouldn't suspect. You start bringing things like just movement shenanigans, just making it so that people can't move. All these different ways that you have in your codex, and it's available there. You just have to kind of find it,
Yeah.
right? And just kind of
Forge World models.
Forge World. That's another. Yes.
Yes.
As an ITS player, I do love me some Forge World.
I think that was the giant kick in the nuts for me though.
What?
'Cause when the Forge World book came out, right? Like you got some nice stuff.
I did get some nice stuff.
You got some nice stuff. I got handed another nerf.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, the
I was
Arvarna.
like, so the Arvarna, the 109.
Yeah.
Then Tiger Sharks went from hitting on 3s to 4s, like
Yeah.
everything else.
Yeah.
And I was just like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, but then John P got Redemptor Dreadnoughts. Contemptor Dreadnoughts.
Yeah.
Volkite Contemptors.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, those went from not being considered to, oh, you need 3 of them now in a specific build, and it's sold out now.
Yeah.
Probably because
People found out
Yeah,
that
people
it was
found
so
out. Yeah, yeah.
What's up with 3s in this game?
I don't know.
Everybody runs 3 of something that's like OP. 3 Riptides, 3 Contemptor Dreadnoughts.
That's the max that you
that's
can
the
bring.
max.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying.
Rule 3. Yeah, dude. What is wrong with you, huh?
Nothing's wrong with me. I'm just like, yeah, but you could
Yeah.
probably bring something else for some better points.
Now, Forge World is a good option if you're looking to upgrade your army a little bit more. Obviously, the pricing is kind of expensive. So,
Disposable income.
yeah, if you have disposable income and you want to start, trying out some new Forge World stuff, then you're free to do so. But just like, don't think of Forge World as I need this or I lose, right?
Yeah, definitely not.
You can pull out so many wins in a game just by playing really well, right? And you'll surprise yourself. You just have to keep practicing. You just got to keep trying out different things, try new things, try stuff that you've never thought about doing before, and just see if it works. And yeah. I feel like that we're preaching at this point.
Eye on the objective.
Yeah, eye on the objective.
What?
Demeki,
Why is everybody looking at me? My eye is on the objective. You know what's funny though? It's this. So the whole reason why I've even started using Kroot lately, and it's not to hold the objective or anything, is because I wanted to make a meme list called "Oops All Kroot." And that is the whole reason why I even considered.
And now you've fallen in love with the Kroot choice.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah,
I do
Kroot
like the
troops.
Kroot troops.
Yeah,
and they're cheap.
Now I want to hit you guys with one more question here.
Yeah.
So So we all have 50% lower win rate armies. Not that it's a bad thing. We know we just live here. We can go to the upper echelon if we wanted to, but we just choose to live here for a little bit. What would you guys change about your armies in order to make them a little bit better? Would you change stuff specifically about your codex? Obviously, John P can't because his codex is it's already printed.
Welcome to the ecosystem with your 9th edition codex.
Yeah, what's some stuff that you would want to change or change about the overall game? Also, not just army specific, but things that you would like to see about the overall game that you would want to change in order to make this quote unquote codex creep that's happening minimized.
Oh, okay. I have a few written down here actually.
Okay, all right.
Mine is actually based around codex things. Mine is actually based around codex things. So if this was a wish list to say as maybe a psychic awakening or something,
Or Cheriton.
Yeah, or Cheriton.
Yeah.
First things first, obviously, Wolfen took a pretty big hit.
So you want to bring back?
Bring him. Not obviously. I could be lazy and just say bring back the 8th edition way, but that's lame.
Yeah.
I got a few things here. So everyone else got a +1 wound. Why not Wolfen? There's still 2 wounds. Let's bring them up to 3 wounds. Put them on par with all their elite counterparts. Right now they're at a 4-up armor save. So when they take their storm shield, it brings them. They have a 4-up invuln and 3-up armor save. So any bit of invuln or any bit of AP brings up to their invuln. Nah, let's change that. Bring it down to a 3-up armor save. So 2-up armor, 4-up invuln. Something else I think that they could use is probably like an addition or like being able to consolidate more without advancing and charging, without giving them Swift Hunters. I think they're fine without advancing and charging, like they had in 8th. But maybe consolidating an extra 1, 2, 3 inches would be nice.
12.
Yeah, 12 inches.
16.
How about a stratagem where you can consolidate or pile in an additional 3 inches
We have that.
for CP?
We have that actually.
You have that?
Yeah. But like if I could not spend the CP for that, so that I could spend it on other things like key
Maybe, I can
fixes.
see that. I can see, yeah.
Maybe that would be cool as an HQ, like because HQs normally have the auras and buffs, right?
Yeah.
So maybe an HQ that does that.
Ragnar does that, but I want Wolfen to do it. I'm talking Wolfen here.
Just Wolfen.
Strictly Wolfen.
He just wants it just for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then last but not least, I think maybe a stratagem that give them something to keep an enemy from like falling back against them, because yeah,
like on a 2-up.
Yeah, on a 2-up
that'd
you
be
can't
pretty
fall
sick.
back.
Yeah.
And then last but not least, maybe when they have their because right now most people usually take the claws or the Thunderhammer Storm Shield, buff the axes a little bit. Maybe give them a cleave and a scythe option. Give them that flexibility.
That would be kind of sick.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of people are taking vets now with like a storm shield and a claw.
Yeah. I have like 15 of those.
Yeah.
Don't mind me.
Can you do that with a Wolfen too, though?
No. They're locked into Thunderhammer Storm Shield. Oh, you could add that. Yeah. More flexibility. Yeah.
More flexibility.
More flexibility on the weapon loadouts. Yeah.
What about you, Demeki? Or is that all you have?
I have more. I don't know how much time I have here.
Let's do one more. The biggest thing.
One more. Okay, obviously I love Thunderwolf Cavalry. So Thunderwolf Cavalry, I think one of their biggest things is that they have keyword cavalry and they cannot breach through buildings. I noticed that they gave Cataphront Breachers the ability to breach through buildings, so why can't Cav have that also? They're wolves. They're living sentient beings. They could climb through windows.
Yeah, but one of them's a troop and the other one's a fast attack.
Yeah, but the Cataphront Breachers have keyword biker.
Yeah,
it's literally like a guy inside of this huge mech suit.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm sneaking one more. Wolfguard. The Wolfguard keyword doesn't mean anything. Like if they could give a specific buff or like aura or strat for Wolfguard, that'd be pretty nice.
They could fact that.
Yeah, they could FAQ that.
Yeah, just take away a keyword. I can see that.
Yeah. Well, I would like the keyword still. The keyword's there for fluff. But anyways.
All right,
that's enough of me.
Revamp. Well, biggest thing, revamp marker lights. Completely change marker lights.
Yeah.
Give commanders the reroll for ones. That would be nice, like a captain, like a Space Marine captain. That would be great. And then you're not having to bake in marker lights if you don't want to.
Yeah.
Because like that's the only way you're gonna get reroll ones, or if you take Farside Enclaves. So yeah, that main thing. Next thing probably would be get rid of Overwatch and just make it to where we have a ballistic skill of 3.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
So
you know what would actually be nice if when you hit the marker lights, you get like I don't know, like you can have like a bank of dice, right? That you've rolled prior to that, and then when you hit a marker light, when you hit damage or something, you can use the dice that you pre-rolled already as the damage.
That'd be cool.
Yeah,
that would be cool.
That's literally miracle dice.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it sounds like something I know.
Yeah.
if dude Raph knew what it was.
Yeah, dude. I mean, dude, if they gave Tau miracle dice, you think that would fix them?
No.
Okay, what if Tau
give us loaded dice?
Yeah, maybe. I was gonna say that. What if Tau were allowed to use a specific set of dice?
That drop it, like I said, drop Overwatch and like give us the 3-up ballistic skill, or like how about drop Overwatch, give us the 3-up ballistic skill, and then give us 4 marker lights. Let us fire a marker light and be able to fire our other weapons, or make it to where we can Overwatch army wide on a certain unit if they have so many marker lights.
Yeah.
Because I mean, honest to God, Overwatch really does slow down the game, and when you're playing against Tau, it's just. Even as a top player, it's annoying to me.
I can't imagine Tau versus Necrons.
Oh my god.
Overwatch reanimation. Like
Yeah.
I would that game would last 10 hours.
If that ever became the top two armies, oh geez.
Jeez, that's like League of Legends style of like ardent sensor meta.
Yeah, or you remember when like Ziggs and Gragas were like the top two mages in mid lane? You just wave clear 50-minute games. Yeah.
Yeah, no, we don't want those. We don't want those.
Oh, you know what? Another thing. So like the shield generator is like the storm shield for Tau. It would be nice if we could have a +1 armor save as well with the Imbol.
Yeah.
That would be nice. So
Okay. So for me, I think what needs to be done in order to get rid of this Codex discrepancy thing is making the secondaries available in the GTs better. Making it better for all armies, right? Whereas, because usually when you're going into a game and you have these secondaries to choose from, when half of the secondaries aren't good and there's only a certain few that you want to take, then that's what the problem is. And that's what's making it harder for you to keep up with your opponent, right? Like if you have something like, engage on all fronts, obviously really good. Name 5 secondaries that you really like off of the regular GT.
Engage on all fronts. Deploy scramblers.
Dun,
Raise
dun,
banners.
dun.
No, maybe.
Maybe. I have 3. Domination, engage, deploy scramblers.
Line breaker. I kind of like that one. That one's cool. I like the idea. Would I take it? Depends on the army.
That's hard, right?
Yeah, it's hard. So I know some people have been taking, what's it called? Mental interrogation. Where you just have,
every once in a while,
yeah, where you just have like a 50-point psyker and he literally just does the action every turn.
Yeah.
You get 15 points off of that. That one's pretty neat. But
It's just,
it's not easy.
Yeah, it's not easy. That's what I'm saying is that like that's why I'm really excited for the GT rules that are coming out, just because I want to see if they're going to be changing things where other armies that don't have a 9th edition codex can function better,
I hope
right?
so.
Because even the mission secondaries, because there's some mission secondaries that are just awful.
Raise
Raise is so bad. And having more options for your army, like it might feel bad a little bit for 9th edition codexes that have good secondaries, but if they're good secondaries, they're going to take them anyways.
Yeah.
So just raise the bar for everybody else that needs to use those secondaries, especially if GW isn't going to release all codexes at once, which I don't think that they ever should.
I don't think they'll ever do that.
Yeah,
They're not. They shouldn't do that.
Yeah, they shouldn't do
it's
it.
a silly
Yeah.
business idea.
Yeah, that's a bad business idea.
I just hope that certain ones stick around, like Titan Hunter, like because certain ones are situational.
Yeah.
So
That one. Well, the thing is that when a secondary is situational, then you run into the problem where you can't have a code. You can only use that in that situation, right? So if you're building your army around like 2 secondaries or 3 secondaries, and then maybe the third one you can flex a little bit. The third one that can flex, it's dependent on what you're up against and what mission you're running, right? So if you don't hit either of those criteria, then you're kind of screwed. Then what do you take? No prisoners?
Well, that's when it comes down to building a well-rounded list, right? For all comers. So that's where the situational secondaries come in.
Well,
and some people build so that you can't score secondaries against them. Like most Necrons lists, most Space Marines lists, you can't really tech a specific secondary against them. So if you end up with something like Raise as this mission secondary, you're stuck with deploy scramblers, engaging off fronts, and something you might score 3 points on. At the end of the game.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's what the core problem is that the secondaries just aren't all on the same playing field. Like Warpcraft, you might as well just kind of get rid of that entire section because it doesn't work. Like it works in narrative. But when it comes to like GT and stuff, then that's when there's a problem because it's just like it just doesn't work. Like when you can't run something like While We Stand and then pop Unleash the Lions as Custodes, and that's obviously like extremely powerful. And the only thing that you can get is like Raise. It's like, man, this sucks. Like, what am I supposed to do here?
Yeah.
And I think that's what the biggest problem is that
I think they kind of. Because at the beginning, before they made the changes, before they FAQ'd Grand Tournament, bring it down Everybody was taking engage on all fronts, bring it down, and scramblers, or they were taking engage on all fronts. What was the other one that got a major change? The one where you pick the 3 most expensive point costs.
While we stand.
Yeah, while we stand.
Yeah.
And just scramblers. And then they made that change, and then like nobody was using them.
What?
Or like it went down, like those 2 things went down even further from use as a secondary. So I'm hoping that these next set of secondaries are more balanced out the get-go, and then they don't get FAQ'd, like they don't FAQ secondaries because like people are always taking them, or they're more powerful than they should be. Like I'm hoping that we just have a balanced GT out the get-go. Probably won't, but we'll see.
It's a learning process.
Yeah.
You know, there's still a lot of time for them to figure things out. I mean, all the codexes haven't come out yet, so
Yeah. Low tier gang, low tier gang, low tier gang, low tier gang. All right, guys. That's it for this conversation, for this podcast. We have run out of time here. So we're going to end it off here. Thank you guys for checking out this podcast. If you guys want to listen to this podcast, you guys can listen to it on Spotify. You can put us in your ear holes whenever you want. You can also catch us on Twitch every single Tuesday at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time at twitch.tv/DiceCheck. Also, you can catch us doing live battle reports every Saturday at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time at twitch.tv/DiceCheck. Check out our YouTube channel. Press the subscribe button. Press the like button. Listen to us in your ear holes. And we hope that you guys have a very good night listening to this while you fall asleep.
Okay, we love you. Bye-bye.
Good night. Good night. Goodbye. Goodbye.